Tonight, Port Lincoln residents come together, calling for action to reduce street violence. And a group of new migrants get an exclusive tour of Whyalla.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. Frustrated community members took to the streets in Port Lincoln over the weekend, demanding action against street violence. It comes as police boost foot patrols across town.
A sea of protesters marching together, crying out for better action to curb violent behaviour in Port Lincoln. A response to the recent spate of attacks across town. This shocking footage of a fight was taken inside a local fast food restaurant just last week.
Me and my friends can't come down the street anymore and feel safe, or just go to Macca's and try and get a feed without being abused of some kind.
The community's just had enough, so we're making a stand now.
More than 100 protesters took part in the peaceful march. Traffic was slowed to a snail pace as the crowd moved across the street.
When adults, when a teenager, when an elderly who can't even walk home without getting attacked, going to feel safe.
Community leaders held a special meeting with authorities last week to try and tackle the issue. Police have reassured the public of safety with increased foot patrols across town.
We've got a really beautiful town. To me, it's about having and keeping Port Lincoln safe for all to use.
Community members say they're living in fear after two unrelated attacks at a fast food restaurant and a car fire in the same week. Locals say there have also been violent incidents at nearby supermarkets.
We've had drivers just recently robbed at knife point. The police do what they can, and then unfortunately the courts let these people back out and they actually catch our cabs again.
It is pretty serious, and that's the fears that you do have.
Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Business SA says Spencer Golf businesses will feel the squeeze if changes to land tax occur. It comes as Port Pirie's MP reveals he's concerned with certain aspects of the proposal.
South Australia's looming land tax is causing a stir in the Spencer Gulf. For Port Pirie businessman Hayden Bentley, the potential revaluation of properties could be devastating.
As a property owner and a business person in the region, we are very concerned with the land tax changes.
He says it'll throw a spanner in the works for his Bentley's Cabin Park development in Port Augusta.
Very nervous and sitting on the fence and certainly, not tackling any new investments.
What we found is that South Australians are paying 45% more than the mainland Australian.
Members of Parliament are yet to see the fine print. Jeff Brock says he's met with the Treasurer but still isn't sold.
I'm having concerns about lots of issues, and especially the retrospectivity of the original proposal.
Mr Brock also voicing concern it will make South Australia less desirable to investors.
We have to be very, very competitive with other states because everybody's looking for the most activity.
The Treasurer says 92% of people will pay less.
Can't drive down the top rate of land tax 2.4% without having some people who are going to be winners and some who will be losers.
Business SA says the bill puts more than just landowners at risk.
It's not just the businesses that own property that are going to be impacted that we have concerns over. It's also those that are tenants.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A 28-year-old Port Pirie man has been charged with theft and assault after allegedly robbing a local jewellery store. Police allege the man entered the Norman Street shop, stealing 6 rings from a display case before running off. The owner of the store pursued the man, with the suspect allegedly attempting to assault him. The suspect was later caught shoplifting from a nearby store, allegedly trying to pay for stolen items using the rings. Students have put pen to paper today, with school returning for the 4th term. Year 12 students in Whyalla are getting ready for their final exams and end-of-year celebrations.
It's the home stretch for these Year 12s, and everyone is feeling the crunch time pressure.
Certainly a lot of focus on helping those Year 12s coming to the last 2 weeks. I know in our school a lot of holiday classes would have happened, so that's just extra work that the staff do to help out the students.
Here at Samaritan College, Year 12 students say they're ready for their final assessments.
I'm feeling a bit nervous about my math one, but I think if I put in a lot of study, I'll be fine with it. But the other two, I'm feeling pretty confident with.
Not too bad, I think I'll do pretty well, providing I do the last minute study heading into it. I've been doing some over the holidays, so I think I should be all right.
Times have changed, with some students completing their essays in other ways.
There's not as many going to be doing exams as they used to. There's lots of ways to complete Year 12. Students are already out at work in some cases, completing their TAFE courses or VET courses, and some will have exams like many parents would remember.
Some are already thinking about next year.
I'm a bit scared, to be honest, because I've applied for uni, but I'm going to have a gap year. So, yeah, it's just scary thinking you're not going to be here every day.
Well-deserved end-of-school celebrations will also be on the cards, but students say their teachers' hard work should also be recognised.
Supplying me with feedback and constantly, like if I go up to them and ask a question about an assignment like 5 times over, they will constantly like help me with it regardless of anything.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Calatumbi Festival has been named a finalist in the Australian Street Art Awards. Organisers say they're thrilled with the news, with plans already underway for next year.
Standing tall for almost 2 years, the Tumby-based silo mural has been a key drawcard to attract tourists to the region. Now it's been recognised as one of the best mega murals in the country.
The silo mural has gone through in the mega mural category, and Calatumbi Street Art Festival is a finalist in the best street art event or festival in Australia.
The Silo Mural and Calatumbi Festival named finalists in this year's Australian Street Art Award.
Probably give us recognition as being one of Australia's major street art festivals, and that then leads on to worldwide recognition.
It's the second year the festival has coloured in the town with help from artists from across the globe. This year's event injecting more than $150,000 into the town's economy.
It's done a tremendous job. The winter slump nowhere near what it once was in the town.
Experts say street art is a popular hotspot for tourists, with silo art trails and mega murals drawing in the crowds.
Public art is actually more popular than going and visiting wineries, casinos and other forms of events such as sporting events.
The awards will be announced early next month. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come, Whyalla plays host to potential new residents, and we take a look at how Broken Hill's famous Christmas puddings come together. Welcome back. 60 migrants have been given an exclusive tour of Whyalla. They also met with employers from across the region who are currently looking for skilled workers.
Whyalla locals welcoming new visitors and showcasing the region.
We're talking about people here from China, from India, from Africa, from the Philippines, just every part of the globe.
The 2-day event included a welcome dinner, networking event and Steelworks tour. Members of the community coming together to support this initiative.
This event has been amazingly supported by our community. Everybody that I spoke to and all of the community representatives here today were really thrilled to be a part and be asked to be a part of this process.
Organisers are encouraging these visitors to think about pursuing a life here.
Hospital need more nurses, need more aged care workers. You've got GFG here, you've got biz industry, you've got real estate people here.
Organisers say while employing locals remains a priority, there's still a need for skilled migrants to fill critical gaps in local industries.
We have very much a locals first, so they'll certainly go to the locals, but if they can't fill a job, they're going to have to bring someone in.
Skilled or unskilled or semi-skilled labour to fulfil the projects. So this is about ensuring that Whyalla has every opportunity to succeed.
And some are already thinking about a move.
Half a dozen already said, we're really keen to move. And so that's what today is finding the job opportunities. But yeah, the interest is incredible.
No matter who I asked, people have said, yes, we want to help. And that's what Whyalla is. We're always there to help people.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
An action movie filmed in Broken Hill will be released in cinemas this week. A fundraiser to help grow the city's film industry will coincide with the movie's first local screening.
Diesel, dust, desperation, there's no place like home.
14 screens around the country, which is fantastic for an independent film. So, yeah, it's exciting to get it out there, and hopefully everyone will get along to see it.
Later this week, the independent Australian film Locusts will have its cinematic opening in Broken Hill. The Silver City doubled as the setting for the film, albeit with a different name.
Not only is it great to see the town that you live in appear on the big screen and you can recognise people and places, but it's a really entertaining film.
Production crews spent 2 weeks in town last year using locals as extras and even cast members. To help further increase the local filmmaking talent, a fundraiser will be held this Thursday night to support Screen Broken Hill.
A not-for-profit organisation aimed at developing the screen industry both locally and helping visiting filmmakers come, such as Locust.
Money raised from the night will be used to set up a screen and media hub as a base of operations for Broken Hill's long-standing film industry.
It's also about supporting through helping training and development, helping give young filmmakers and aspiring filmmakers a pathway, and also attracting those larger productions here when we can as well.
Jason is hoping once the hub is up and running, more movie makers will volunteer their time to support it. The screening of Locust starts at 5:30. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Sailors were put to the test over the weekend, with Port Lincoln hosting the Commodore Cup. Over a dozen ships took to the water in the annual sail past the Commodore before the race began. It's the first competition of the season, with perfect weather making for a tight race. The Tacoma Preservation Society also celebrated 10 years of maintaining the historic boat. The Broken Hill RFDS Women's Auxiliary has been getting into the festive spirit this week. The volunteers have begun making their highly sought-after Christmas puddings.
From a bunch of ingredients to a dessert you can't wait to eat.
We tasted one last week and they're beautiful.
It's been over 60 years since the first batch of RFDS puddings were made. Every year a talented team of volunteers come together to prepare, create and cook. The process starts with delicious fresh fruit infused with a touch of brandy, which is combined with flour and breadcrumbs. While that's happening, dozens of eggs are whisked together and butter is added.
Everything has to be weighed precisely, because would I dare change the recipe after 63 years? I don't think so.
The butter and egg is joined by the fruit and mixed by hand. It's weighed in calico and put into a boiler. After 3 hours they're removed and hung up to dry. More than 2,000 have been made in a little over a week.
They will be on sale at the Bruce Langford Visitor Centre as of next Monday, which is the 21st of October.
Money raised will be donated to the southeastern section of the Flying Doctor. Carol says it wouldn't be possible without the dedicated team of volunteers giving up their valuable time.
It's very rewarding, very good job, and I'm very happy to do it.
Locals are encouraged to buy one as soon as possible to not risk missing out. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Save one for me, please, ladies. Stay with us after the break. The York Peninsula gets into gear for the Cycling Super Series. And Alex will have the latest weather forecast. Hello again. 60 junior tennis players from across the region have competed in the 2019 GFG Alliance Junior Tournament in Whyalla over the weekend. The event was highlighted by 2 future superstars who made a name for themselves. Streaky Bay's Eva Schumacher in the under-13s and Cowes' Lachlan Turner in the under-17s won all 4 events they entered into. More information on the tournaments can be found online. Riders will be putting their pedal to the metal this weekend for the York Peninsula's Copper Coast Cup. Hundreds of athletes will head to the YP for the state's second biggest racing series.
The YP is gearing up for its stage at the South Australian Cycling Super Series. The 7th edition of the event will see Australia's best cyclists converge on Moonta and Wallaroo for 2 action-packed days of racing.
The course is 80 kilometre circuit featuring 16 kilometres of dirt roads.
The off-roading component is a unique section of the Copper Coast Cup.
So they're not on mountain bikes or anything, so they've still got the really narrow tyres, so it takes a certain amount of skill and experience to really take advantage of the conditions.
The Copper Coast Council is asking drivers to plan accordingly, with a series of road closures across the region for the weekend, with commuters advised to avoid the Spencer Highway, Tikara Alford, Wallaroo and Snodgrass roads between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Saturday, and then George, Henry, William and Robert Streets, which will all be closed for the Moonta Criterium race on Sunday.
Events in the region showcase our region. You know, we know it's a great place to live, work and play.
250 athletes from across Australia heading to the region for the two-day event. Council says local businesses will have a big weekend as well.
Obviously, if they're in our area, it is an economic boost. They've got to stay somewhere, they've got to eat somewhere.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Time for a look at the weather. Here's Alex with the details.
Thanks, John, and good evening. It's been a mostly fine day across the region. Broken Hill reached a sunny top of 28, Port Augusta and Port Pirie both 24, Whyalla 21, Adelaide 20, Port Lincoln 19. Taking a look now at today's satellite images with a low pressure trough bringing cloud across the skies. Looking ahead to tomorrow now on the waters, southwesterly winds tending southeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, seas below 1 metre, and sunrise will be at 20 to 7. Showers expected about the region, most likely in the early afternoon. Broken Hill remaining sunny with an expected top of 28, Port Augusta and Quorn both 26, Port Pirie 25, Whyalla, Woodner and Kadina all 21, Coffin Bay, Clare and Adelaide 20, Cleve 19, Port Lincoln 18. Looking ahead through the week, showers expected at Port Lincoln, Cleve and Woodner on Wednesday, looking fine and partly cloudy Thursday and Friday. Whyalla with fine and partly cloudy days ahead, Port Augusta looking mostly fine Wednesday and Thursday, sunny skies on Friday, showers for Kadina on Wednesday, then looking mostly fine through the remainder of the working week. Showers expected at Port Pirie and Clare on Wednesday, both looking partly cloudy Thursday and Friday, and finally to Broken Hill where it's looking fine on Wednesday with sunny conditions expected Thursday and Friday. So John, looks like we'll be getting some much needed showers over the coming days. Back to you.
Thanks, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday evening. Louise Hedger will join you in the chair tomorrow from 6:30. I'm John Hunt. Thanks so much for joining us. I'll have some updates later in the evening, but until then, enjoy your evening. On behalf of the team, it's good night.